Well, what a journey we've been on, huh?
Yeah, it's been quite a journey.
Yeah, working from home. And man, I just remember when we first started, a lot going on, and we were kind of in a valley at that time. Remember that?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And it's crazy to think after 2.5 years, how far we've come. So, yeah. So I know in the beginning, you had the 2 knee surgeries.
Yeah.
And, we were trying to figure out, okay, what should we do? At the time, I lost my job as well too. And, and we were like, okay, what are we going to do for work? What are we going to do to earn income? And working from home, our first group was mothers, for the most part.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and then Ryan as well too. I remember hiring him. And, it's unique about this whole work from home. And, this was pre-pandemic, we got started. And why don't we just talk a little bit, Mom, about our journey, how things have progressed and what we've learned and, what we wish we would have not went down roads we didn't like and that affected us a lot. We're still probably paying for it today. So, I mean, we started with, I think we had 3 agents in the beginning?
Yes.
Roughly?
Yeah, about 3.
Yeah.
3.
And then, and then we got referrals that way, from other people who needed work from home at that time. Yeah. And then we even at that time, we were just working part-time. I was doing real estate deals on the side to pay bills, and you were doing Uber driving, right?
Uber driving, yes.
Yeah, to pay for our people's registration and background check costs.
Yes.
Yeah. And I just remember you coming over to my place and would make calls there, and then I'd run over to your place and do the same, and then we just progressed one moment at a time, 1 month at a time, So, and then the pandemic hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
How was that for you, Mom, when the pandemic hit and we had 20 people, I think, that were set to start with one of our clients that was in the travel industry, and how was your experience through that?
Well, when the pandemic hit, we didn't know what was going to play out. So when the pandemic hit, I couldn't drive Uber. I think it was frozen for a while. And then I said, well, I'll do the Uber Eats, which delivering sandwiches or food to people. That was not personal contact. You leave the food to the door, you walk away, there's no personal contact. Because we still have to pay for training for those agents that couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
So I had to do that. And then for some reason after that, we start having more and more people interested because more people didn't want to go to their jobs, physical, but they still need to earn money. Then they have virtual learning for some of the mothers and their children. And that made it very difficult, but working from home made it a lot flexible because they could choose their own hours and they could work around their children. So that we just began to see more and more people interested in what we had to offer.
Yeah. It's crazy. And I remember when the pandemic hit, and we had 20 people set to start, and they're in the travel industry, and the whole travel industry shut down.
Correct.
and we had 20 people saying, "What are we gonna do?" And so we ended up helping them find new opportunities with some other clients we were able to get, which was great because that helped them be able to find work. And and then I just remember along the way, we started to figure out some things virtually.
Absolutely, yeah.
I mean, you have a tremendous technology background, right?
No.
I'm a computer guru myself, right? No, not at all.
No.
Right? And but
I was willing to learn, though.
Hey, where there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah.
So, and then we had, after that, was able to build a bigger team. I think we
Mm-hmm.
had probably 50 agents at that time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then we hired some folks on. You know, we're doing everything. You
Yeah.
know, it was all the advertisements, all the marketing, all the
sessions.
you know, we did all the screening as well too. We did the
Yes.
follow-up, payroll.
Yep.
Yeah, all of it. And then we decided to hire a couple people on, right? Mike and Laura.
Yep.
Remember them?
Mm-hmm.
And I just remember you being so nervous about that.
I was pretty nervous. I just like, I don't know. It just, you know. And
who can we trust with our logins and access to our entire business?
You know, these people, you know.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, it's like, I don't know, you know, but I remember you said, Mom, in order to grow, we have to trust. We have to trust, and we have to. And I was like, okay, you know, we will let go, and we'll trust people with, you know, hopefully they will, you know, prove for who they are, you know.
Totally.
Yeah. And we just had to let go.
Yeah.
I had to let go.
Well, I mean, it's difficult in the beginning, especially working from home, you know, like being able to hire people across that you've never shook their hands before.
Absolutely.
And to take a leap of faith to trust that they will
do
the right thing, you know.
All on faith.
It was on faith. We literally built our business on faith.
On faith, yeah.
And trust that the other person will do the right thing.
Yes.
You know? And I think that's the what permeates through our entire organization is trust and building it on faith that the people that you're working with, even though we've never shook their hand, right?
No,
we never shook one of their hands, but they had the same vision, had the same goals, and had same values, similar values to who we were. And we were able to give them trust or extend our trust to them, which then made them extend their trust to us, which I think that really, really helped, you know? So us being able to pay for people's registrations and background checks and stuff, you know, pay their way, so to speak, I think really allowed for them to trust and bond and want to work with us. Even though they've never shook our hands, never knew us from Adam. You know, if you can extend faith and extend trust, people will naturally reciprocate. You know?
People will read you. People will feel your words, will feel you. So we know we're not perfect, of course, but we try to be very authentic so people can see who we are. Although sometimes we didn't have people that came in and they didn't treat us that way, but we still kept steady to those people that still believe, you know, in the vision. So more and more people begin to like this work from home, where they're not bound at a job. They can schedule themselves whenever they want to. You know, around their family. That's the vision, that hey, you can still raise your family and still earn income from home. So I remember one mother, a single mom, and they did a virtual learning. She didn't know she was trying to figure it out, and she called me. She had done a training, about to start, and she said, I can't do this. I'm overwhelmed. So we had a conversation, and I gave her different tips. I said, okay, they had to listen to her voice in order to get certified. I said, you've done all the work. They just need to hear your voice. She said, well, I don't have one to watch my kids and they're screaming. I don't know what to do. I said, well, do you have a family member that you can pay to babysit while you do it? She said, oh, I didn't think about that. And she did that. She passed certification. She worked it around her schedule. And she told me, she said, I follow up with her and say, hey, you know, how things going? She said, I learned to work around it. I get up early. I put in some hours before my kids get up. My children get up. We do school. And then after school, put them to bed, and I work the other hours. She said, I'm loving it, you know? So sometimes it just takes talking to people to help them figure things out for themselves,
Yep.
you know?
Yep. Overcoming their obstacles.
Yeah.
And through the pandemic, especially, there was a lot of obstacles for so much of our world. I mean,
A lot.
not being able to go into offices and buildings and call centers and, you know, even cruise lines and everything was shut down. So, and then I think that what's crazy is that when the biggest tragedy I think that's happened in our world happened, it was still such a tremendous opportunity where we saw our greatest of success.
Yes.
That's what's so crazy. When things were the worst, things ended up working out for the better.
Yeah, in our favor.
Yeah.
I mean, we figure out a process that work. Every business, you have to have a process. In fact, of course, when you just start trying to figure it out, there's try, fail, and adjust, but you don't just give up. But we figure a process that worked perfect.
Yeah.
We tested it out.
Yep. Failed many times.
Yep. And then we brought other people on and that had the same dream and had the same vision. Actually, when you really have people with the same dreams and a vision, it makes it so easy. And then it makes even the challenges not so bad because you have people working along with you.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of friction. So we had people that came on that really loved the vision. They really love, especially those that work with the eternal staff. They can actually basically work when they're at a baseball game with their children. You know, they're working answering text messages, soccer game. Yeah. Running
their kids. Yeah. I think we had someone on our team who's going on family vacation would still be able to do their part of leading part of the team meeting while they're on their family vacation, which is beautiful. Yeah. So, and then we fast forward a little bit from there. You know, we ended up figuring it out. We got our systems down in order to work from home.
Yes.
Saw what clients made the most sense.
Yes.
That would fit people's schedules.
Yes.
We figured out pay rates and what works for most of the United States, at least for the skill sets that we'd be hiring.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Once we fine-tuned all of those things and had a good team with us, then we took it to the next level. Right.
Yeah,
it was like December 2021. We added about maybe 15 more leadership staff members.
Correct. Yeah.
At that point, I think we had probably 150 agents roughly. I think
it was, around 150.
I remember QuickBooks, us hitting the maximum amount of people we could pay in QuickBooks, right? It was 150. So and then we looked into newer payroll systems and whatnot, and and it scaled from there. That's really when it really took off, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So come January, you know, we had over 200 agents at that time, right?
Yeah, that was a 200 mark. That was what we prayed for, to meet the 200. We got 200 agents servicing.
Yeah. And then it grew from there. And from January 2021 to December 2021 last year, you know, we grew by 798%.
Yeah, it's a lot. There were a lot of people. I mean, we didn't think we would attract that many people. And a lot of them were referrals, people referring their family, talking about it on social media, you know, because a lot of the agents came from social media. I think 90 something %.
Yeah.
It's just people having conversation. We were not even telling them to do anything. They were just referring people.
Which was ECS. Yeah, that was probably the S curve, if you will, for our business, because I think 2021 we hired over 14,000 people.
Yeah.
That year. So a lot of people really fast.
Yes.
Just because there was such a big need in our country to work from home, and not a lot of people to have the ability to earn income, and you know, we offered that opportunity for so many people in 46 states across the United States.
Yes,
organically it grew And then, of course, we had ads here and there, but the referrals came in. The people were hungry for the opportunity, and we're able to provide so many families with income through through work from home. I remember talking to the unemployment office, and they said they thanked us to not have so many people unemployed, that we're employing people through the pandemic. Which that was great to see and hear from. And then now, 2022, now we're teaching people, right, Mom? We're teaching people how to do what we did.
What we did, yes.
I remember us talking about that, where we were like, okay, if this changed our life, and we've had this level of a journey, that at some point we would want to give it back to the people, right? And not for free. I mean, we're not. Of course, we know it's valuable.
It's valuable, and we have to pay to create it.
Totally. But I mean, to be able to have a roadmap, a blueprint, if you will, to success, I think is what I would have wished for when we first started, right?
I wish that we had that.
Yeah, I think first year we did what, $2,980 that whole year. Right, in 2019, and then 2020, we did, in revenue, 269,000.
Correct.
And then in 2021, we did 1.2 million. So so crazy. It was 1.2 million and some change or whatever. Which is a huge blessing in revenue. And most of that income went to our people, right?
Went to our people, yes. They get most of the earnings.
Which is different than most corporations and companies, I would say, right? Like, most companies that, the house wins more.
Correct.
We wanted to do the opposite, right? Where we wanted our people to get the majority of the income and revenue coming through our business.
They did.
Which made it tough, right? Because
budget tough. We had to be
very, very tight budget. To be able to pay
tight
and
margin,
keep things operational.
tight budget.
But it's an opposite model of, I would say kind of unconventional compared to most companies.
Exactly.
And we paid the price for it too, right? Because we didn't receive as much as we probably worked for, right?
Absolutely.
Many months with not having pay, right? A few times. And, but it's the price of being an entrepreneur and serving others. And there's a reason why people wanted to join our team, and the reason why we grew as fast as we did. I think Bitcoin grew a little bit over 300% in the same year, and that was the big talk of the town. But us growing by over 700%.
Oh my!
I mean, that's almost double what Bitcoin did.
Never heard of that. So, I mean, just and just people emailing, thank you for the opportunity. Oh, thank you. We have a diverse group. We have retirees, people on disability, school teachers, that summertime they don't have jobs, but they can take calls. We have college students.
Lots of college students. Some of them going, I remember you talked to someone that she was getting her law degree. Another one was a professor actually at a university, but she was taking calls. So just a diverse group, and where they're using ECS to fit whatever their need is. And then just hearing that, it's just encouraging. Just reading some of the emails, thank you, and we made sure that they got most of their earnings. We could adjust on our end. We want to make sure that they had enough to live off, or they're not they don't feel like, oh, I'm doing all this job and not getting anything. But on the reverse, it's like, oh, wow, you got paying. That's good. That's pretty good. That's competitive. Yeah. I mean, and that's the toughest thing in business that we learned, right? Was, okay, what's the balance where our people can make as much as possible, as well as being able to pay the bills to be able to support them working, right?
Exactly.
And to figure out where's that medium line where we're not taking too much for the business at the same time enough for our people to be able to earn an income for their families and lives, and why they even wanted to start working from home in the first place.
Yeah.
You know, and I know for us, that was probably our first time doing anything like that on that scale, because there's so many people from different states.
Yes.
You know, cost of living across different states is completely different.
Yeah.
What's $10 an hour here versus $10 an hour someplace else, it could make a big difference.
Yeah.
You know, so and we're still always trying to figure out that balance, right?
Yeah.
But we said even in the beginning that our people will make the most of all their efforts and energy within the business.
Yes.
And that served us well for the growth that we experienced,
Yes.
even though we received very little in the end of it all, right? In comparison to what was given out.
Oh, absolutely. And, you know, just working with a tight margin, but we made it work.
Yes.
We, because, you know, running a business, you need CRMs, you need a payroll company. They are not free.
We wish, right?
Yeah.
And I wish people knew how expensive those things are.
Extremely expensive.
It's way more expensive than we ever thought it was, right?
It was. Background checks, all those, I mean, just the cost. But the neat thing is we operated from home, so we didn't have the other expenses, the overhead, like a brick and mortar, you know, company would have.
Brick and mortar,
having to pay rent and all that. So we were able to do that, you know, and to, you know, and with that, we gained a lot of trust of our people because they could see it was, you know, they're treated fairly, you know.
Yes.
Yeah. And they wanted to stick with us, you know, because some of the feedbacks we got, I mean, there's a lot of companies out there doing work from home and they're not legitimate, you know, and that's what we kept hearing. And then they get to talk to someone. I remember someone calling and say, "Is Esther an app?" You know, I said, "No, I'm not
She's
an app.
a real person.
I'm a real person. I get to talk to you.
She's totally a real person.
Real person." Yeah. But just to know that, oh, these people are real, like the Zoom sessions, they get to talk. Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah. This is a real business, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, we are licensed and show like any other, you know, company out there, you know.
This is a little bit different than your typical conventional business out there.
Yeah.
And I think that serves our world well. You know, I think our world has been hungry for a new way of doing work.
Yes.
Where they don't have a boss breathing down their neck, telling them you got to be here at 8:00.
Exactly.
Or you're fired.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
To be able to pick and choose what hours they want to work. If they don't want to work Mondays, they don't have to work Mondays.
No.
If they just want to work overnight, they want to work a couple hours here, a couple hours there, a couple hours there. We'll pay them for the time that they put in. Yeah. Right. On one end, you know, from a growth standpoint, we thought it would be a hindrance in the beginning, right?
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
But it ended up being a blessing because people
people
loved it. We retained our team and we grew by 798%. I mean, we wouldn't have those results if it didn't work for the people that we were serving. Yeah. You know. And then we also subscribe to a servant leadership model, which is a little bit different than most corporations out there, right? And companies out there. Usually it's more of an authoritarian model, right? Where the owners, like you and I, bark and tell everybody what to do. Right? Everything we've done in our business, we voted on.
Yes.
When we implemented a new compensation plan, we voted on it, right? When we changed and modified our comp plan, we voted on that, right? Yeah. I think it was a couple of our execs that suggested we do a leadership meeting. It wasn't even our idea, right, Mom?
No, it wasn't.
Wasn't even our idea. It was our team saying, "Hey, we need to get together on a week." And I remember when we had Penny on our team and she said 8 a.m. on Monday. And I was like, 8 a.m.? Felt like I was in the office a little bit again. Yeah. But hey, that's what everybody voted on, right?
They voted on it,
yeah. And, you know, and we kept building our business and doing the things in our business based on the voices and the people that we were serving.
Yeah. And most people, I got an email from an agent. She said, "Oh, I think you called her," and she emailed. She said, "Man, all the places I've worked, I never had a CEO call me to ask me how I'm doing." That was her comment. And I had another lady. She's a veteran, and she's a widow. She's wanting, she has some, effects from the ward that she served, and she said she had a service dog that passed away. She was having a hard time, and she said, I'm going to take time off and get myself together, and I'll be back. She said, good thing that I'm not going to get fired. She said, I'm not going to get fired. I said, you're not going to get fired. You want to take the time off? Take the time off.
Take the time off.
And she took the time off for about a week or 2 weeks, and she came back on and started again. She said, well, I remember her writing. She said, thank God I'm not going to get fired. So.
Isn't it crazy that companies out there would penalize a person if they have an emergency or something going on in their lives that they have to take care of, and they feel like by pressuring that person to be there that things will be more productive. It's amazing that we were able to grow so fast and never had those restraints on people.
No.
If they were sick, we didn't penalize people for being sick. If they needed time off, we allowed them to do so.
There's another agent too. She worked very hard to save up enough money. She wanted to go to Ireland to for her heritage, and she worked hard, and she was in Ireland. But while she was in Ireland, she's still communicating because we're online, we're virtual. So basically, she can email and text, but she was able to do that, Had she been on a regular 9-to-5 job, she would have to put in 2 weeks or 3 weeks notice to get approval, And I just told her, I said, hey, when you're ready, go on your trip. You're trying to find your heritage, And she was so glad she did. She got back, and she later told me that she's retired, but she also takes care of her 90-year-old mother.
Crazy.
90-year-old mother, she can be at home with her mom. At the same time, she can schedule her hours around working.
Total flexibility. It's like working. It's instead of having your life around work, it's having your work around your life. Right? That's what we believe in. And it's amazing how the appointments, the trips, an emergency, for all our people didn't affect the overall revenue growth and success that we saw. 798% in the midst of allowing people to be able to pick and choose whenever they wanted to work. Which is a beautiful thing.
Their success is based on them, and people want that liberty. They don't care. They can make a lot of money, but they want that freedom. To pick and choose when they want to work. And that's the feedback we kept getting. So that freedom that they really want, that's what a lot of people are looking for. And someone say, I don't care. I can take a pay cut, but for the fact that I can see my daughter's recital, or I can see my son play baseball, and then come back and not that fear of being fired. So now, thank you. I like this job.
And many of them with us still today.
They are.
We're over 170,000 in revenue, ahead of where we were this time last year. So it's exciting to see where we're going to go. And I know, has it always been easy, Mom?
No, it has not.
Did we come from backgrounds of Daddy Warbucks?
No, far
Sugar
from it.
Mama? Did we have Sugar Mama or Daddy Warbucks with us when we were starting this?
No.
And that's what's been really beautiful, that we have the opportunity to live the American dream. It's not perfect, and we're still hit with challenges, right?
Yes.
This week especially, right?
This week we got a lot of people praying, but it will happen.
But I think we're